Namaste, beautiful yogis. This is an answer to a question about Warrior 1, Warrior 2 alignment. And in general, the question was about the alignment of the most common poses in yoga and in my classes. You can use this tutorial so that you can improve on your alignment. And once you understand alignment and you have practiced it a while, it becomes second nature. You don't have to think about alignment. You're flowing through the vinyasa sequence, and alignment is just not an issue. It's there. But up until then, you can focus on alignment, bring your focus and attention there. So for Warrior 1, let's start with Warrior 1. We're gonna take wide stance here, 3 to 4 feet apart, depending on your height and the length of your legs and depending on your flexibility level. The hips are gonna be square. Refer to my video about squaring hips so that you know how that feels. We're going to square the hips forward. In general, if your hips are not square here, your left hip will flare open, and what you're going to do is you're going to imagine your hip and internally rotate the hip bone here. What happens is we're taking the outer line of the left leg and rotating that leg inward. If you touch the inner thigh is rotating back. Here we're gonna feel our right hip and press it back. So left hip is pressing forward, right hip is pressing back. This may look like it's not much, but actually there is a lot of work going on in the body, and it takes a lot to actually keep the hips square. Press into the outer edge of your left foot, inner edge of the right foot. In general, you're going to press equal amount of weight onto all four corners of each foot, but the tendency is to roll on the outer edge of the leading leg foot and to lift the back heel off the floor. Try to keep your heel down. If you look down, your knee should be pointing directly forward. Keep pressing that right hip back as if the femur is pushing back into the hip socket. Reaching over the head, extending the tailbone slightly down. Feel the stretch into your hip flexor. Relax your shoulders and breathe. For Warrior 2, we're going to take a little wider stance. We're opening the left hip here, so that's why we get a little extra room to take a little wider stance here. Look down and make sure your right knee is aligning with your toes. You want them to be pointing directly forward. The tendency here is to have your knee pull in. That may be because you don't have enough flexibility in the inner thigh, so work on flexibility, maybe stay a little higher in your Warrior 2 up until you can actually align properly. Once or if you are able to keep your knee pointing directly forward, you can sink deep into your Warrior. Take a 90-degree, up to 90-degree angle between your calf and your thigh, and open the arms out to the sides, parallel to the floor. Tendency, another mistake here I see often, is reaching way, creating a lot of tension in the upper body, a lot of tension in that leading hand and arm, and there is just a lot of effort. Try to look effortless. Relax your hands, soften your shoulders, straighten your torso, and keep the tension out of your hands. Keep pressing into the outer edge of your left foot, lifting the arch of the foot off the floor, lifting the arch of the right foot off the floor. Keep externally rotating the left hip. Let me know if you have any questions about Warrior 1, Warrior 2 alignment. Namaste.